Today I want to talk about rebellion, and not your kid's rebellion, but yours. You may not think of yourself as much of a rebel, but you're probably more of a rebel than you think you are. To be a great parent, you have to be courageous enough to visit your past. You have to be willing to ask yourself questions like, how did my parents raise me? You have to ask questions like, what was my experience like as a teenager? Ask yourself questions like, what did my parents teach me and what did they pass on to me? And it's important to think back on that time, even if it's painful for you, because that pain can have a purpose. It can show you where you need to rebel. Here's the reality. You and I are not perfect parents, and neither were our parents. There has to be some areas where you can give your teenager a better experience than you had, and that's something that you might rebel against. In that case, rebellion is a very good thing, and it's one of the greatest gifts you can give your teenager. After you're done watching this video, I want you to grab a piece of paper and grab a pen, and I want you to write down some ways that you can rebel from the way that you were raised, some way that you can give your teenager a better experience than you had. Then what I want you to do is on another section of the paper, write down things that your parents did great. Write down things that your parents did excellent at, and the things that they passed down to you and the things that they taught you. Think through the different areas of your life when you were a teenager that your parents did a great job. And those are the things that you need to repeat with your teenager. Those are the things that you need to pass on. Those are the things that you need to keep doing with them. It's so powerful when you and I can repeat the things that our parents did for our kids. And we can begin to pass down traditions and we can begin to pass down heritage. In 1 Corinthians chapter 11, Paul's talking to the Corinthians and he makes this statement and he says this, he says, follow my example as I follow the example of Christ. And I love this statement that he makes, and I think it's a great statement that we can take on as parents. We can tell our teenagers, follow me as I follow Christ, and we should be laying out this path for them, this path of holiness, this path of doing things to lead them into Christ. One of the best ways that we can ensure that we are carving out a path for our children to follow leading to Christ is to look back at the path we took when we were teenagers. We can look back and see the good things and also the bad things, and then we can make adjustments and we can change. I hope this will help you determine the things that you should be rebelling against from your past and the things that you should be repeating with your child. Thanks so much for taking the time to think about how important it is to lead your children, and I pray that God uses you to bless them and to lead them into Christ.